I'm Rabbi Jason Holtz from Bromley Reformed Synagogue talking about this week's Torah portion, Korach. In it, a man named Korach challenges Moses over his leadership of the camp. Why don't you have a look and see what happened? It's time we stop putting Moses at the center of everything. What makes him better than me? I'd be a great leader. Vote for me. Put me in charge. Now, Korach arguing against Moses in and of itself isn't all that bad. The problem with Korach challenging Moses was not that he cared about the issues. His ideas, some people would say they're really weird, some people would say he has a good point, but that's besides the point, because actually Korach, his whole issue was promoting himself. His whole reason for arguing in the first place wasn't because he wanted to do what's right. His whole point was to take over leadership, was to promote himself, was to lift himself up, not to lift other people up or to lift up good ideas. Moses, on the other hand, was incredibly humble. He only takes stances if he thinks that he's doing the right thing for the greater good.
When God asked me to be a prophet, I initially said no. God persuaded me of both the importance of the role and my fitness for it. The position is not one I sought out, but agreed to it, and still agree to it, because I have a responsibility, both to God as well as to the Israelites. It's hard to balance those two responsibilities, but for me, it is a mitzvah, a sacred obligation that I meet to the best of my ability.
So that distinguishes Moses from Korach. In fact, there's other people who argued where both sides really, you can't fault them when it comes to having the best of intentions. And there were two rabbinic sages, Hillel and Shammai, and their arguments were of exactly this sort, where they both just wanted to do what's right. Have a look. The house of Shammai teaches many wonderful things. And if you want to know what Shammai teaches, well, you can find presentations on HillelTube, presenting Shammai's opinions fully and fairly. But there are times when I just disagree with what he has to say. For example, Shammai teaches that it's always inappropriate to lie. Me, I believe that it's almost always inappropriate to lie. Almost. For example, there was a time that Shammai and I attended a wedding together, and it was a good friend of mine, and I just had to tell my friend how wonderful of a couple he and his bride made together. Was it fully honest? Probably not. Shammai shared what we were all thinking about this couple. And let me just say, he stuck his foot in his mouth. Well, I believe that it's okay to tell a white lie every now and then to spare people's feelings. Shammai, he just doesn't know when to be quiet. I suppose that's just an honest difference of opinion, though.
I don't really have anything to add. Hillel summarized very well. Different opinions, but I know he means well.
According to rabbinic commentaries, they said that there's two types of argument. One type of argument is the sort that Korach would make. And they said that that argument has no lasting worth, because the whole point of Korach's argument was simply to promote himself. When Korach goes away, the argument goes away. But some arguments actually have enduring value. They'll live on. And those are the sorts of arguments between Hillel and Shammai, because their ideas came from a place where they both wanted to do what's right. And so therefore, both sides, their arguments had worth and have merit. And they're both recorded in our rabbinic literature as being praiseworthy. In fact, rabbinic literature says both the words of Hillel and the words of Shammai are the words of the living God. The whole joke is 2 Jews, 3 opinions. There's nothing wrong with disagreements in Judaism. There's nothing wrong with spirited debates. But what is important is that when we argue for a side, we're really trying to promote the ideas and the values that we think are part of the greater good. And that's the lesson from this week's Torah portion, Korach. If you like this video, please like it and please share it with your friends so we can grow our community of learners. Bye now.